was painful, for sure. I couldn't really bend my knee, I guess. But the fact that I knew there was kids on the other end, the more I ran, the more money I'd raise, that made it all worth it. Like, oh well, if I have to lay in bed for the next few days, that's okay.
Welcome back to Through Their Stride, a Texas-born podcast sharing the stories of runners from here at home and far beyond. I'm your host, Sam Sutton, and today's guest is Carrie Fromme, a Canadian-born runner who now calls Texas home and whose running journey started not with a 5K, but with a marathon. A couple of years ago, Carrie signed up for a marathon with a friend back in Canada. And like so many of us who catch the bug early, that first long run lit something bigger. Almost immediately, she felt the pull to go further, to see what else is possible. But today, Carrie isn't running just for miles, she's running for meaning. In 2025 and again in 2026, Carrie is taking on a 24-hour run to raise money for children in Honduras through a project called Hope Endures 24. And a quick correction here, earlier on the podcast, I mistakenly call it Project Endure, but it is Hope Endures 2024. Last year, Carrie ran for more than 60 miles in 24 hours and raised over $23,000. This year, she's setting an even bolder goal, 100 miles and more than $100,000 raised for kids who need it most. This is a story about going long, saying yes to discomfort, and discovering how far running can reach when it's fueled by purpose. I'm excited for you to hear it. This is Carrie Fromme on Through Their Stride. Okay, welcome back to another episode of Through Their Stride. I'm Sam Sutton, and I'm joined by Carrie Fromme, and she just moved here recently from Canada to Texas. So welcome to Texas. Yeah, and I wanted to have her on because she has a pretty incredible story about running 24 hours to raise money for kids in Honduras. So Carrie, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, of course. So I love running, like probably most everybody listening, and my work does this project where we build houses here in Texas. So we were thinking, how can we do that elsewhere? And there's this community in Honduras. They live sort of triangulated by the ocean, a river, and then a sewage treatment plant. So whenever it rains or the ocean levels rise, or floods happen there all the time, so they get kind of hit on all ends. Water from the ocean, and then the sewage treatment plant water spills into their community. And I got the opportunity to go there with them, and I was like, this is insane. Like, how are people living in this? And I'm like, I don't have like the $1 million we need to build this community for them so that they can, just so that the kids can grow up without waking up in waist deep sewage water. Like, I don't want any kid to go through that. So I was just thinking, I don't know what I can do, but I can run, I guess. And so running for 24 hours seemed pretty extreme. I don't think it's as extreme as what these kids are going through. So I was like, maybe that'll catch some people's attention. So last year, me and one of my friends just went to this run, put up a donation page and raised $23,000. That's enough to build, I think, one house. It was a little bit for the infrastructure as well. I just got an update, I think, a few weeks ago, and most of the underground piping is in, but they really want to finish the houses because in April comes the worst flood season. Yeah. I don't want these kids to go through another year of just, they literally have nothing. So don't want them to have even less, I guess. Just give them something to start building a future. And so I pulled two of my friends in, and we're going to run for 24 hours, going to raise some money and hopefully finish up this project before April. So, yeah, that's kind of a very broad summary of it.
Yeah, that's awesome, though. I was reading this on your profile, and I was like, man, that is incredible. It's really amazing to be able to use running, because a lot of times when we're running for ourselves, we're running for our own personal goals and PRs, but to be able to use it for something bigger than yourself is incredible. So when did you go to Honduras and see that originally? And then when did the first run take place?
So I went to Honduras in January of 2025, so almost a year ago. I knew it was coming up and I was starting to think about it in December, but the fundraising really started happening January and February. And so mainly word of mouth and just, I guess when you just, like I shared the story of one of my favorite girls. I mean, I love all the kids there, but one of them, her name was Mia, and she just, they kind of just cling to you, just one person they pick out, and they just stick with you. And this girl was just trying to learn, like, I don't speak Spanish. I probably should, but I don't. So
I don't either.
she was kind of just talk with me, and I'd be like, we were at the beach, and I'm like, that's water, that's the beach, that's all I know. And she's like trying to say it after me, and then she ran to her mom and was like, I guess she was telling her that she learned because I heard the word beach over and over, and I was like, man, and it was pretty good English. If she can pick that up and she goes to school maybe a few days a week because that's all that her parents can manage, then there's so much more that this little girl can do if she doesn't have to be like fighting for her life most of the time. So yeah, when I share that, and like I'm almost starting to cry here, people just feel that and they're like, yeah, I want to be a part of this. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I mean, to have that, I mean, that's like a personal connection with someone there. And when you do the 24 hours race, obviously 24 hours is hard, but I feel like to have that motivation, you're like, this is for somebody. Did it make the miles easier? And how did the run go?
Oh yeah, I forgot that part. So the run was in February. February like 20th or something last year. So I'd never run an ultra before, and I didn't really know how to train for it either. I just kind of did on my own. That didn't go so well. So a week before the run, my knee started giving me issues. And so I was like, well, I can't stop now. And there's like, I did it a pledge per mile. So every mile that I ran would add more money to the like, so people donating like $1, $5 per every mile I ran. I went in the first like marathon and a half were fine. And then all of a sudden your knees are just gone. And I'm like, crap. I still have like, I don't know, I think I had like 13 hours to go, or I don't remember, but yeah, mile 30, 40, I just couldn't really run anymore. So I started hobbling because I was like, well, there's kids on the line here. So it was painful for sure. I couldn't really bend my knee, I guess. But the fact that I knew there was kids on the other end, the more I ran, the more money I'd raise, that made it all worth it. Like, oh well, if I have to lay in bed for the next few days, that's okay. I mean, it's nothing compared to what they're going through. So
Yeah.
I was no David Goggins effort for sure. I mean, that guy can run on broken legs. I didn't do that. But it was pretty cool to see what your mind can do when you've got a reason to do it. So I ended up with 64 miles. So a lot of walking.
That's awesome though. I mean, like that's like a superhero story. Like you're basically fighting a battle for people. I think that's amazing. And so how did you originally get into running? And so yeah, first start with the running story. What's your story with running?
In January 2024, I was living in BC, Canada. One of our friends here from Texas called my brother and said, hey, I'll come visit you if you run the Vancouver Marathon with me. I heard that and I was like, oh, no way I can say no to a challenge, even if it's not directed at me. So I said, I'll go too. I trained for, we got that call in the middle of January 2024. I trained for about a month to the middle of February. Then I had a wisdom tooth surgery. Those wisdom teeth went into my sinuses so they had to like sew it up and stuff. The medication I was taking took me out for like a good month and a half. I was also in the final year of my final semester of college. So all I did was study and sleep, try and recover. Then in April, I also was working as a tax accountant, and in Canada that's like personal tax season. So I didn't prioritize running there. So basically I trained for 1 month. That did nothing. Then the marathon was May 6th. Went on 3 runs before that.
Oh my gosh.
The marathon. The first 10, I'm going to say kilometers now because that's how I remember it. 10 to 20 kilometers. I was just following this one dude. I was like, just stick behind him. And he was setting a pace that I'd never run up before. I didn't know what I was doing. And then we go up this really steep hill, and that gassed me up so hard. I kept going though. Then at kilometer 30, I saw my dad and one of our friends who was cheering us on. I was like, guys, I don't know if I can do this anymore. Felt like I was gonna pass out. I probably looked super pale and stuff. And I was like, let's just go finish this thing. So, fun fact about the Vancouver Marathon, the entire time you're running, you can see the end because you're going around a corner. So you just, like, I'm never gonna reach the end because you can just see the distance. But anyway, I get the end. I almost collapse. I don't know. I was not trained for this, that's for sure.
Right.
But we did it, and just that high of going across the finish line, knowing that you can achieve something, instantly I fell in love. I was like, okay, yeah, if I train for this, we can make this happen. So since then, I've been chasing the high. But like, I enjoy the journey as well. But the right finish line is super cool.
Yeah, for sure. So you started your running journey like pretty recently, and you started with a marathon. That is incredible. Like not a 5K, not a 10K, full on marathon.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think it was gonna be as long as it was.
Did you play sports growing up at all, or what was your kind of relationship with athletes?
I did competitive swimming,
Okay,
and then after that finished, I just like kept doing like hit workouts and stuff. But
gotcha.
yeah, that's about it.
That's awesome. Yeah. That kind of translates though, like cardio wise, into running. So you probably had a pretty good base going in, it sounds like. It's still hard though, obviously.
Yeah, I think it was definitely better than it could have been. Not what it is now.
Yeah. And then also want to kind of ask about like, to be able to do something like this Project Endure, like that's, a very seems like you're a very charitable person. Things in this world mean a lot to you. Have you always been that way? Have you always been someone who feels compelled to give back?
I think just the attitude my parents set in our household, I think translated that over. They're always very serving and just cooking for other people, hosting and stuff like that. So I think it was pretty normal for me growing up. And so whenever I see someone in like distress or like hear about projects, I'm like, oh man, I gotta do something about that. And maybe it goes to an extreme like, I gotta save these people. And which I know is also you gotta like teach them how to fish, don't give them just the fish. So I think that's one of the things I really like about this project is that we're not building it, the Honduran people are building it. They're 100% taking ownership of it. And first, what's going up is a community center so that, these people have never lived in like a neighborhood like we have, and that's kind of what's being built. And so they don't know how it's explained to me by their local people is they don't know how to live in community together. It's just everyone fights for themselves. So what they're building is this community center, start teaching them just classes about how to maintain your home or how to even like entrepreneurial stuff. So they've done these projects before, the group we're working with in Honduras, and we went to one that's been completed for 8 years. It's clean. They have their own water system, which is actually apparently better than the like government system of water. They have bakeries and welding shops, like they're self-sustained. And so that's what I've really enjoyed about it is you're not coming in to build it for them, they're building it for themselves and then teaching each other how to live together. So I thought that was pretty cool. We're just helping them with the funds, I guess. Yeah.
That's awesome. I work at my day job. I work in communications, and the guy that I've covered, he goes to Ethiopia with his church, and they help them build communities. They raise money to help get them the resources to do it themselves, and they always come back every few years to see how they're doing, and like they've been amazed at how well they've kept up that community and how well they've kept everything. And I think it's true. I mean, if you give them the resources to get it off the ground themselves, they'll really build it up, and it'll be something way better than you could do if you were just doing it for them. You know what I mean?
Right. Like
So
that ownership of hey, this is ours. Let's do something with it. Yeah, that's super cool.
That's awesome. And I think they'll be also more grateful because they're like, you're helping us lay a foundation
Mhm.
here. Like this is something that we can sustain. And so it makes them more grateful for you guys because it's like, you're not just coming here, building something and leaving, you know? So,
Oh, it's
yeah. Awesome. And so you said, I think right at the beginning that this is with you're doing this with your companies. So what do you do? What is your day job?
I am a TN visa worker from Canada working as an accountant in an engineering firm. So a Lynn Group, they have Lynn Engineering, Lynn Construction, and a few others. And so, yeah, I don't know anything about engineering except for now. I guess I know more, but
Yeah.
I work in accounting.
Cool, cool. And so this next 24-hour run, so when is that going to be? Is that coming up soon? And is it going to be like an official race or are y'all just doing it on your own?
So it would be February 21st, and this year we're still doing it through trail racing over Texas, Manford. They do like the Jackalope Jam, and then you choose whatever hour. And last year I just chose them because one, it's close, and two, it's actually I don't have to worry about a ton of logistics. So we're gonna do it through them again. We just sign up, have our own little tent area, and do it. But next year I was thinking potentially we do our own race, just because I've had more and more people now be like, "Hey, can I join?" I'm like, well, you can. There's just an entry fee barrier, so maybe just taking that concept, doing it for our own, have people join for however long they want to, and I think because everyone has their own pool of people, the more people you have involved, the more people it reaches, and so if you get them running with you, people who are invested in that person are more likely to donate, and so I think that's potentially where I'll go next year. But yeah, this year, February 21st, doing it. I can 7IL Ranch with the Jackalope Jam run.
That's awesome. Yeah, I wanted to touch on that as well. I mean, just in this past year, it seems like you've built a little bit of a community of people like, hey, that's cool. I want to help. Hey, that's cool. I want to, you know. So, how does that feel to you to see more people kind of stepping in and being like, ooh, this person's doing something really cool. I want to be a part of it.
It's cool. It's like last year was just a random idea because I was like, well, I don't know what else I can do. And so just to see that it resonates with other people, that's pretty neat because it kind of shows you can do things in ways that aren't traditional, I guess. Like, I mean, running to raise money, that's always been, I feel like, a case, but I didn't know that existed until I did it myself, type of thing. So I don't know if that made any sense, but it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And, to me, it shows me like y- there are so many people out there who are like good people. You know what I mean? Like, and if you start something and it's something totally for good, a lot of people will be like, I want to help. You know what I mean? I live here in Fredericksburg, Texas, and this back past summer we had that big flood in Kerrville,
Oh, yeah.
and it was one group of people said they want to come help rebuild, and then like tons of people flooded over there, to help, which actually kind of caused a problem at first because like we had too many people, we were like we pulled off, but it's a good problem to have when you see so many people coming in trying to help. Have you felt that a little bit of like, man, there has it opened your eyes to how much good there is in the world?
Yeah, for sure. So like the two questions I get most is like, how do I help and whatever, and then can I join? And I'm like, that like just I mean, it's people I don't know any of these people, and it's just randomly on social media, and you're like, you gotta, I guess, anticipate having that opportunity. I didn't think anybody would want to join, so I I guess maybe even this year we could have created an opportunity for people to join in the running and stuff. So yeah, it's been a bit of a surprise, but it's really neat to see that people are willing to. I mean, it takes time, it takes training, it takes your own resources and stuff. And these people don't know me, they don't know anyone in Honduras, and just yeah, that fact that one running or just in general a cause can bring people together, like that's pretty neat. And I guess it's just if we were all to like work together like that, I think we'd have a lot better time together.
Yeah, yeah. this world would be a such better place. We all did that all the time.
Yeah. Just like, oh, maybe let's like put our heads together and do something good.
Yeah, yeah. And so your goal in 2026, in 2025, 2026 is to raise 100,000. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
And where are y'all so far as the money? How much do y'all have left to go?
That's a good question. My brother takes care of the website and background stuff. I've not asked him for an update. And I'm going to say probably like another 75,000. Since we're doing like a pledge type of thing and we want to reach out to businesses, what we've seen is that a lot of them are like out of funds for the year of 2025. So right now it's build awareness, show them that we're willing to do this, and then in January hit it with the, hey, now we need your money type of thing. So, and yeah, just right now building the story, building a community, and then in January really hit them with the, okay, if you do want to help, maybe you can run in solidarity on your, like, you can run wherever you are or donate here or just tell other people about it. So yeah, 75,000, I'd say we still need.
That's awesome. And I mean, I feel like 75,000, if you have, did you say it was three people doing the race? Or I mean, three people doing the race in a pledge style over 24 hours? I feel like y'all are going to easily amass that, like that's incredible. So, like, all the awareness that you've already raised, like people are going to be like, I want to help, I want to work, so it's going to be fun to watch. But outside of this effort, your individual running goals. So what are your personal goals with running, and what kind of keeps you in the sport?
So I really want to do ultra trail running. That's like, I think, like flow state running is right there. So I've entered the lottery for Leadville. We'll see about that. That's like, I don't know, 13, 12 days to go. Don't have a countdown or anything on my whiteboard, but I'm eagerly awaiting that one. And if not, I'll just choose another 100 or 100 plus miler in the United States to run. But ultimately, I want to do Moab. That's like
Oh yeah.
the first one I heard about. I'm like, I gotta do that one. So I think just the mental state you get put in those runs, like, yes, marathons and half marathons and 50Ks even, they're tough and stuff, but multi-day races, like, you gotta really, I feel, I mean, I've never done one, so I don't know. Just what I've observed is that it's a lot about your mindset and keeping going, overcoming obstacles, and pivoting. I don't think you can plan for a perfect race. I mean, there's always going to be something that comes up from what I've seen. I've been watching a lot of documentaries, so I want to experience that. I want to get to a point where I don't know what to do and then figure out how to keep going. So I enjoy the running, and I've tried triathlon, and I would love to do an Ironman at some point, but something about the running is just you and your shoes and your crew. You need those as well. But
Yes.
that's what I'm here for, is to grow my mindset and be able to overcome things that I didn't think I could before.
Yeah. And so how did you get into the ultra running space? Because you jumped into a marathon, and then it seems like you almost immediately jumped into ultra style trail running. So how did that transition happen?
I went to a last man standing in November, or I think 2024. Yes, last year. And I saw the people run 100 miles in 24 hours, and I was like, bet I could do that.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was talking about though. But so I don't know. It was fascinating to me to see them come in like they're like Formula One cars, just change tires, put them back out. Like, that's super cool. So that's how I got to my goal for the 24 hours last year was to run 100 miles. I didn't get there. My plan is to get there this year. And then after that, I was like, not too bad. So what if we try this like point to point? Because the 24-hour format it's just a out and back 1 mile each way. So I want to see places, see the views, go up the mountains and stuff like that. So since I guess it's just a combo, I love the outdoors. love the space you're put in mentally, and then the pain cave of running. So those three things, that sounds like a good combo to me.
Yeah. You have to really love the pain caves to be able to do ultra running. It's funny, I've talked to, I think, four ultra runners at this point, and I had a lady named Kayla Straub on a couple of weeks ago, and she was like, once you get to that dark place and you overcome it, it takes longer to get back to that dark space. But she was like, that's kind of where growth is built, like in those dark moments where you have to kind of get yourself out of it. And she's like, that's why I love the ultra running. And it sounds very similar to you. Yeah. And how has running and ultra running helped you, overcome things in your personal life and your life outside of running? Have you been able to kind of develop better tools in that sport?
Yeah, so I do think it translates very well. It just, I mean, in my first marathon when I was at like kilometer 30, I didn't think I was going to make it any other step. But in my head, you just keep like up. What helped me was just saying, just do one more step, one more step, one more step. And I said that probably for like an hour. And just then you're like, well, it's going to end at one point. Like, this is my life at the moment, but it's not always going to be like this. And so now when I go, I've developed that in all my, like when I've been running or my races, or just I like David Goggins' thing of like taking souls. So like I did a marathon in Sweden this year, and
Oh,
after kilometer 15, I was like, I'm not letting nobody pass me anymore. So then I just start picking off people, and it has nothing to do with the people, but the mindset of just one more step, go get that one more goal, one more person, whatever that is, just keep moving forward. And it's gonna always, like, the dynamics are gonna change. You're not always gonna feel this way. You won't always have this problem. But if you don't attack it right now, yeah, it's gonna stick around until you deal with it, type of thing. So at work, if I feel overwhelmed or anything, it's just like, okay, what's the next step? One more step, one more step, one more step. And then, oh, that's that next little goal. Let's go pick it off. Let's hit this off the to-do list and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's been pretty neat in helping me focus, not get overwhelmed, and just breathe.
yeah. Yeah, I can totally relate to that. I ran my first marathon in February of 2023 at the Austin Marathon, and like my friend and I we trained so poorly for it, and we didn't know anything about fueling or anything. And at like mile 20, I think, well, at mile 17, I hit the wall, but it's mile 20, I just had to walk the last 5 miles in, and or 6 miles, and I was like white as a ghost, just off in an awful way, but it taught me like it's not forever. You know what I mean? Like at the end of it, I was like, well, I got through it. So I can get through it faster. I can get through harder things. And it has translated in work. And it's like one of those things where you feel the discomfort, but knowing that it won't last, forever, you can almost find beauty in the discomfort. You know what I mean? Like I'm growing, I'm learning something new. And, I find that even in my work where it gets really hard, I'm like, okay, like, how can I make this better? How can I like overcome what's hard? Who can I lean on? Who can I like help? You know what I mean? So yeah, for sure. Running is one of those things that it translates so much to life more than I think a lot of people who don't run can understand.
Yeah. And actually, that's a good point about like, who can I lean on? It's like, when you just have like your crew people there and you're like, these people are literally keeping me alive right now,
Yeah.
it helps you ask for help. I think in general in life a lot. I've had a tough time asking for help. I want to do things on my own. I want to figure it out. I don't want you to think that I need help, type thing. But that doesn't really work with, like, at least any long time distance running, or even you're running your marathon, people are handing you food and stuff like that when you're going. It's like, yeah, maybe ask for the help. They're literally rooting for you. They want to support you. And if you can go further with it, you, I mean, why not, right? And so
Yeah.
that's, I didn't think about that until like right now. So that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad I was able to bring that up. But yeah, it's incredible. Like, even in the training of a marathon, and I'm sure obviously an ultra marathon, but have to rely on other people sometimes. Like you have to rely on the support of your family, your friends, people who are saying, you got this. You know what I mean? Like I could train for it totally alone, and I think my mental space would tank. But like, I have my wife to lean on sometimes. Like, oh, I just feel terrible, and she was like, well, it's only a few more weeks. You know what I mean? You got this. What do you need? And so, yeah, it's not bad to ask for help in life. Obviously, in running, but definitely in life. Like, you're not weak just for asking for help. And
For sure.
yeah, I love that. Well, cool. Well, for 2026, obviously you have the Project Endure, and you've got hopefully Leadville. And is there any races in 2026 that you're also looking forward to that you'd love to run?
I think right now I'm trying to just see if I get into Leadville. If I don't, then I'll add a few things. But if not, that's really the one I want to hit. I mean, I live in the flattest part of Texas. There's no elevation here, and Colorado is a little bit more elevated. So if I get into that one, that's what I want to focus on, train in different areas and stuff like that. If not, but then I have no problem signing up for things, so I don't think it'll take.
I was gonna say you came to Fredericksburg. I saw recently on your Instagram, and you did Enchanted Rock. Did you like run up Enchanted Rock, or did you just walk up it, or?
I was there with my family, and like we walked it, but every once in a while I was like, let's see how this goes, and then I'm like,
Yeah. Because I was like, that would be a great way to get like some elevation training. Just you could run the loop trail and run the rock a couple of times.
yeah, no, you'd be pretty good after that.
Yeah. I did Enchanted Rock. My first time I ever did it was I moved to Fredericksburg in 2019 and in June of 2019. And I was like, I want to go to Enchanted Rock one day. I was like, how hard could it be? I had a 16-ounce bottle of water with me. I went in there like 9:30 in the morning, and I was walking up it, and that sun, once it hits that rock, like just beats down on you. And I was like, this is no joke. And, barely made it up, sit there for like a while and made it back down, and was talking to my boss about it at the time. I worked for the newspaper here, and he was like, you should just like stop and listen to our EMS scanner for the whole day on a Wednesday. Just like have your ear to it. And I was like, okay. And then Wednesday came, and I was like, man, there's been like 7 calls about people like dehydrated and like sick on the Enchanted Rock. And he was like, yeah, it's not recommended that you go there without like packs of water.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, it's just that the limestone heat, pretty interesting. But you said you were hoping to train, if you get into Leadville, hoping to train in other places of Texas, where would you kind of hope to jump to? Like, would the hill country be somewhere you'd try to get some elevation training in?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like that's the closest area. Hill country, maybe Austin, San Antonio area. I don't know if that's considered hill country. But yeah, and then if possible, I'd love to just go to Colorado and check it out as well, because you start at what 10,000 and then you go up. So
Yeah.
that's a little different than starting at I don't know what hill country starts at, like 100.
Yeah, it's like I think it's like 1,700 here, so it's nothing. Yeah, Colorado running is incredible. It's like I went there last summer. Well, no, not last summer, 24 with my wife. And I woke up one morning and I was like, man, this air is so clear. It's like cool out. Like, I'm going to go see if I can run like a sub 25K. Like, it feels so good. And I got a mile in, and I was like trying to like suffering, trying to breathe. And I'm like, what is going on? And I came home and I was talking to my wife about it. And she's like, well, we are at 10,000 feet of elevation. It's like you're breathing through a straw. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, no, I'll
Yeah.
see. I haven't planned anything out really. Just waiting on January 8th.
Yeah, for sure. And then training so you come from Canada originally. So what got you to Texas, and how's training been in Canada versus Texas?
So I got to Texas through family friends. I came here for the summer, just like check out what Texas is like. I'd never been here in 2024. And then they're like, yeah, you can, there's this TN visa thing. You can work here for like 3 years if you want to. I was like, sure, let's do it. So that's how I'm here. And then training between Canada and the US, or Canada and Texas. The winter is, you're gonna be wet because you're out there running. Like, if you're running outside, you're running through the snow in the winter. And I went back so I came to Texas in summer or end of summer 2024. I went back home for Christmas or the winter time. And what I remember is you just like layer up, you run, you sweat a lot because you're layered up and you're still producing body heat. And then you come back in and you're like, what did I just train my like calves? And that's about it, because you're just trying to get through the snow. But and just in general, depends on where you're at. If you're in places like lower part of BC, it's very rainy. Other than that, I think it's pretty like our fall here. That's generally what it's like. And then coming here, I remember for the first year, or first like few months, I didn't sweat like regularly when I went outside. I was just overheating a lot. And then all of a sudden, I remember the day, and I went out for a run, and finally I was sweating outside. I'm like, yes, getting a little more heat acclimated. Let's go.
Yeah.
And since then, it's been a lot better. The first time I went running here, I felt like I was about to have a heat stroke or something. Like, the heat was no joke when I first got here. Now, I'm a lot more used to it. So that was
Yeah.
some not so great decisions when I first got here, running out like in the middle of the day, because that's what I was used to.
I trained for a marathon in the summer this year, foolishly, and I was like, it's gonna be fine, like I've lived in Texas my whole life. I'm used to it. And my coach was like, you should probably do your runs like 8 o'clock in the evening or like 5 o'clock in the morning, like try to run around the sun because it'll. And at first I was like, you're wrong. I'm fine. And I tried to do like a 6 mile speed workout at like my lunch break, and it was like 100 degrees out. I was like feeling so sick. I couldn't even get through with it. And I got done and I texted my coach. I was like, yeah, I don't know what happened. I just couldn't do it. He was like, well, you're over. It's like, maybe like I said, try to train when the sun's not. Because it makes a huge difference not training at 100 degrees and waking up when it's 70.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's like for me, it's a lot of like 5 a.m. runs. No more of that noon running. No.
And I'm not a morning person, but like it's one of those things, like I'm motivated by the fact that I'm gonna hate myself less if I come out now than if I do at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Are you training for anything right now?
Yeah, I'm training for Austin right now. I kind of want a redemption in Austin because my first marathon was 6 hours and 50 minutes, and my most recent was 3 hours and 50. So I'm hoping to break 340 here at Austin and kind of have that like success story of like I came back. But
No.
yeah, have you heard of the Last Man Standing race and the Nick Bear Last Man Standing race?
Yes, sir. I have. Yeah. So Kendall and like some of the BPN crew, we did the most recent Last Man Standing for trail racing. Kendall won that one. Alyssa, sorry, who was the last female standing. She was the last female standing in that one. So yeah, we all went and did that one together. So
Oh, you did that one this past year.
here it is.
Oh, nice. That was crazy. I was watching that, like Kim and Kendall like fighting to the end of it for like 3 days, and the big storm came through. But yeah, that was did you stay the whole time or did you kind of leave early or?
No, I didn't know them back then. I know, like, I'm friends with some of the like BPN worker or employees, I guess. That's what
Yeah.
And so they got to know Kendall through that, and he like comes and stays at their ranch every once in a while. And so they were like, okay, I would tell my friend, I'm like, I'm gonna do the Last Man Standing for like, when was it, in October? She's like, oh, that's funny because we're all doing it too. And I was like, no way. So we went and did some training at the Bear Ranch together, like just ran through the night. And then, but I wasn't there The one in, when did they do it? Like April or May or something? Yeah, I wasn't,
Oh,
but that was cool to watch for sure. I was on my like watching the Instagram lives every like hour. I'm like, ooh, who's gonna be?
yeah, I know. I was like refreshing it, and I think like one time the story like had gone out for a second, and I was like, wait, no. Yeah, that's cool. I'm jealous. I'd love to see that. I'd love to go and see that ranch and do some miles on it because yeah, that'd be fun.
Alice. So the girl that will be doing the 24 hours with me, she did Survive the Night November 1st. And so we were there at the ranch again, and she absolutely crushed that. I mean, it was raining, it was cold, it was so cold. So one of her strengths is like she's really positive and optimistic. Like she was like bringing hand warmers to the station, like the cruise. And I'm like, you have to take care of yourself. You're literally running 50 miles right now. But no, she's super, just very positive, very upbeat, and like was dancing every lap when she came in to see us. I'm like, okay, yep, you're running this with us. We need you. So that's kind of our connection there. So
That's awesome. Yeah, that's in my opinion, in the ultra racing, like you have to be able to have some sort of like positive energy, like you just said dancing, you're kind of like helping other people because you're out there for a long time. So that's fun to hear.
yeah, well, and then it like takes the focus off of you too. It's like, well, that's one way to do it. So
That's awesome. So we'll go back to the Project Endure and then we'll wrap it up. But talking a little bit more about that. So how can people help you and help y'all raise the money and how can people, like you said, how can people help?
sure. So number one way is spread the news. See a video or even just tell people about it. The more people that know, the more people it reaches that can help step in and help. And so financially, you can donate. The website is called 100milehome.com, and it's a pledge system, so you won't get charged until the run is over. And so sharing, financially donating, and then we would really like to get some businesses and corporations involved for them to do like a corporate donation or sponsor or whatever way. I think those three ways would be what I can think of right now. Or, I mean, go run your own 24 hours in the same time and tell people about it. I'm sure we can figure something out. But yeah, sharing, donating, and then getting other people involved.
Perfect. Yeah. And I'll put the 100 Mile Home in the show notes for this episode. And when it goes live, I'll tag you as a collaborator so you can accept it and it'll show up on your page. So that way more people can hear about it and, learn more because I think it's incredible what y'all are doing. And you've definitely earned a fan for me. I'll be following y'all the whole way. So
Thank you so much. No, it's
yeah.
super cool to, build the community and help everyone out. And I feel like running does a lot of good and positive. So just every person that is out there running, I'm always inspired when I see that. So it's super cool.
Maybe we can say something here, like if we share this, I may share something on my story and be like, if you're gonna go out and run, in honor of this, like share it and tag Carrie Fromme and myself, and we can maybe share it on our stories and kind of build a little bit of, momentum there. That'd be awesome.
That would be super cool. Yeah.
So yeah, if you're hearing this, do that. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Carrie, for coming on. I really appreciate it. And do you have any last words that you'd like to say before I let you go?
No, I just thank you for the opportunity. It's super cool to just talk with you and hear your perspective on things. I mean, I love hearing other people's point of view or just how you look at running or different things. It helps me learn as well and grow. So thank you really for this opportunity. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you. Yes. And that's one of the reasons I have this podcast because selfishly, I get to learn from other people and to take their experiences and go, well, shoot at that and it didn't work. So I'm going to, well, definitely it's unable to tell people stories, but also learn from them. So definitely. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And I hope you have a great rest of your holiday. And do you have any fun New Year's plans?
No, my one big goal is don't get injured this year.
Yeah.
That took me to recover from, and
yeah.
I don't enjoy staying still for that long. So that's my big goal for the year.
It's the simplest ask that all runners ask, but it's not a simple task. Just don't get in.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
starting January 1st, it's a very get back on my health track because, December kind of throws that out the window, and then do all those little mini muscle exercises that keep you stable. So that's it.
Definitely. And that was Carrie Fromme. Her story is such a powerful reminder that running can be so much bigger than finish times or distances. What started out as a single marathon with a friend has grown into a mission that's changing lives, mile by mile, hour by hour. If this conversation moved you, I encourage you to learn more about Hope Endures 24 by going to 100 Mile Home, following Carrie's journey at Carrie Fromme on Instagram, and consider supporting her 24-hour run. Whether it's a donation on her site, sharing a video of you running to raise awareness and tagging her so she can share, or simply by cheering her on, every bit matters. And if you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to follow or subscribe to Through Their Stride, leave a review or rating, and share it with someone who loves running or who's still discovering what running can become. As always, thank you for listening, for supporting these stories, and for being a part of this community. I'm Sam Sutton, and I'll see you next time on Through Their Stride.